you already understand the flow concept, right? You want to flow in and out of these movements. Anything we're doing, you don't want to create rigid structures. You want to create structures that are long, tall, and can move. So the first thing we're doing is a supine decompression, which will feel a little rigid. And if it was the only exercise you did every day, you would have a long spine that doesn't want to do much other than stay like this. So you lose that pliability or that flexibility. What I'll add in today is a lot of work with the thoracic gyroscope, so where the ribs meet into the spine. Okay, that area we're going to get moving again. If we just go right into it to moving, if you've got somebody that's compressed in that area and you start moving on it, you're going to grind those gears, right? So expansion breaths, rib cage expands in all directions when you breathe in. When you exhale, powerfully control that new space. And each breath through these series, a little bigger, a little more exhale. Last one, maintain that space. Keep your feet where they are and lay on your back. You're funny. It's impressive. You'd be a great skier. You would be a great skier. Yes, lay on your back. This is where cues can be misinterpreted, right? The visual part of this is huge. That's why I want it to be on film so you all have it. Big toes will touch together. Point the toes towards your nose. Close the hips. Open the shoulders. Take a breath. 3 breaths. Good. I'm going to bring your knees slightly up. Bring them into my hands. Keep coming, keep coming, keep coming. Good. 2 more breaths. Spread the toes wide. Create space between each toe. Very nice. Then push the toes down and back up. Let's work the ankles in supine. Opening up the ankle gyros. Good. Thumbs, base of the rib cage. Pinkies, top of the hip bones. That space right here. Boom. Deep breath. Exhale. Open the shoulders. Try to drive them into the mat. This is where you'll see your back start to raise up off the mat. It's not like an active arch, but it is going to arch. When the shoulders drive into the mats, the knees tighten together. That closes the hips, opens the shoulders. Hands together, fingertips together. Press them towards the ceiling. Long arms. Press the fingertips together. Match that same pressure in the inner thighs. Like you got a Jolly Rancher between your knees. Somebody's going to try to take it. Drive those knees towards one another. Drive those fingers towards one another. Hands start to come up as you take a breath in. Exhale. Pause the hands. Drive the elbows towards one another. Drive the hands a little further up. You're going to feel where that shoulder struggles to maintain that anchor. Great work. Feel it start to lengthen. You're flexible. Are you feeling a active tightening globally of the entire system? Maybe. Okay. We'll work on that. Likely. Your form looks great. Active engagement of this is a conscious decision. The tighter you press those fingertips, the more you press. And then when you completely relax, let the hands by the side. Let the toes fall apart. Toes out, hands out, boom. This induces the relaxation response. That is what that exercise is truly about. Morning and evening, supine decompression. Opening, decompressing, and then relaxing, and you want it to just kind of stay in that shape. Next set, we're going to integrate a tracer. We're going to trace our heel up our shin bone. So supine decompression, boom. Take your right heel, put it on the top of the left ankle, trace up the shin. Good, good, all the way up to the knee, and then close both hips. Yes. Bring that bottom knee up a little higher. Keep coming, like you're dragging the heel towards your butt. Pause right there. Take this top knee across the body. Take your left hand, press it into the inside of that knee. Inside. Yep, good. Press the knee into the hand, resist with the hand. Toes towards the nose. This top hand, press the thumb into the mat behind you. Tall as you can. Deep breath. Exhale. Powerful exhale. 2 more of those and then switch to the other side. Go back to the other side we started on. You remember this one? What's coming? We're going to anchor the hip in. We're going to go to our ankle gyroscope. So closing everything together, tracing, hand here. Okay, now take this foot, leave that hip locked in. This foot's going to come up to the ceiling. Actively lengthening the hamstring. You feel that? Yeah? Spread the toes, work the ankle. Good. You work it till it's hot, till it's warm, and then when you're done with that side, keep the hip anchored in and go back down the way you came, back to the knee, and then trace down and finish. A lot of people will skip that piece, and you miss out on a lot of the compacted tissue in the hip. They just go, okay, well, I'm done there. And you want to really control that because that is going to give you a powerful step. And that's that hip. If you can strengthen the hip, that foot and that ankle is going to have help from above. Trace back down and through. Switch to the other side, back and forth. 2 sets, both sides. You're yawning. You know, yawn is an exercise. So that same technique I'm applying, that reaction response, is what the yawn is. When you yawn, you globally tighten a ton of muscles in the neck and the jaw, and then when you're done, what happens? Relaxation response. So it's the natural. If you notice yourself yawning, you're doing it right. You're working tensions up and out of the neck, out of the jaw. So it's not a bad thing. Feels good. That's the focus of this. Today's focus is feel good, right? A lot of these concepts we can apply in a gym training, in a performance setting. After you're competent in this approach, so I know that, hey, you know how to do your prevention work and your recovery work. Otherwise, I go take you to a strength workout and I create myself and yourself more work because you haven't been doing the basics, the foundation. Boom. And then completely relax. Next one, you're going to roll over on your tummy. Heads facing one another. Okay. Prone decompression. Now, gravity is no longer our friend. We've been laying on our back. Gravity's been helping out. We're going to take big toes together, heels apart. We're going to take the hands and the elbows back down into the sockets, really pack the armpits. Look down, chest or chin towards your chest. That's going to lengthen the back of the neck. Good. Separate your forehead and your chest from the mat. Take a breath in. Each breath gets a little taller. When you exhale, don't let the chest or the forehead get closer to the mat. Each breath, good. Pause right there. That's as high as I want you to go. Because if you float your hands off the ground, can you? Yep, good. Keep those toes pressed in for now. Very nice. Okay, from here, walk those hands out. Big reach. Press the fingertips into the mat. And then act like you're hanging off a cliff. So the elbows kind of tighten towards the armpits, but the fingertips stay where they are. Look left and right. You can work the neck gyroscope in. Deep breath. Feel like there's a spot that's tight. Breathe into that. Visualize that area expanding by use of the lungs from the inside. Pushing, stretching from the inside. Float the hands. Take your left elbow down towards your left hip. Keep the right hand up. Good. And now you're going to alternate. Try to stay in rhythm. This is getting the thoracic area kind of to bend and turn side to side. Great job keeping the chin tucked. Great job keeping the neck long. Open those hands, tighten and open, fist, open fist, fist, open fist. Spread the fingers, tighten the fingers, spread the fingers, tighten the fingers, spread the fingers, tighten the fingers. Now float the toes. Drive the knees into the mat. Close the hips. Heels apart. Good. Knees into the mat. Knees. Drive them into the mat. Very nice. So when you drive your knees into the mat, you'll notice that your butt comes up.
Yeah.
Does that help?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. But then my chest drops.
Struggle bus? It can be, right? This quickly becomes a strength routine. So relax, hands down, rest. We're going to rest back in this position. Tighten everything real tight to the body. Little side-to-side movement. Look left and right. Any residual tightness? Any areas you feel like need to pop, crack? Feel like it's out of alignment? Feel good?
Like the right here.
The T-spine?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mine is right by my skull.
At the base,
at
the axis.
More just like I need to go stretch it.
Okay, we're about to do that. We're about to do that. You're going to actually keep the elbows and the hands right where they are. Keep the knees and the feet right where they are and start to take your butt up and back. Don't lose your elbows or hands. And rock forward and back. Knees can touch, knees can be under hips. I don't want knees to be wide. But yes, they should be touching from you had them closed, and then all we've done at this point is start to integrate this work. If you really tighten the elbows towards one another, take a breath. Now work the hands back, dragging them like you're hanging off a cliff. Right into here, we're going to rock. A little taller position. Forward and back. All my pressure's in the hands and fingertips. And I'm consciously tightening my butt. Like you got to go to the bathroom. Oh, hold it. Hold the pressure. Pelvic floor, right? Pelvic floor exercise. Glutes. It's all the base. It's all that balloon at the bottom. Connects the inner thighs to the outer hip. From there, bring the hands up, right into here. Okay, you should be able to comfortably rest in this position. Both of you really already were able to. If you're working with someone in the future that's not able to get to this position, you need to roll up something or put a ball there because they don't have the active length here or here, the tolerance to sit there. You're going to see that out here. Some be able to do it. So when we sit in a chair, that's what replaces this behavior in our modern environment. This is how we would normally rest. So you're regaining that ability to rest for your body. Okay?
I remember you talking about this, and that's when I told you for the first time that I sleep on the floor, and you're like,
awesome.
That's so cool.
It is, because then you know you're not in this super soft, comfortable environment that is comfortable, super soft, and it's great, but it has negative consequences for our human frames because our human frame is not made for comfort. It's made for the worst things in the world, and it's made to be resilient to that naturally. So give it its dose of uncomfortable every now and again, and that's really what you just went through with a little prone work. Okay, you were fighting gravity. Gravity helped in the supine work. Now you're fighting gravity. Now we're going to fight gravity in a different way. We're going to lift those hips off those heels. We're going to keep them away from those heels. Now, this is a no-go zone. We don't want the hips all the way forward. You'll notice that when you get tired, you're going to drive the hips forward. You're going to just kind of sit and squat. Push the outsides and the tops of the feet into the mat. Little bitty pulses. Treat this like you would if you were in a squat rack. Tightening, opening, open the shoulders. To the beat, naturally. It's a great song for today too, because it's like kind of dull and gray and doesn't know if it's going to snow or rain. The fish are probably biting. That's what goes into my mind. Okay, heating up the legs, right?
Yes.
Thumbs in the armpits. Show me as much as the forearm, much of the palm as you can. Open the shoulders. Big breath. And then once you're expanded, this is for you, start to take the butt down and keep that chest as tall as you can. You're gonna feel that area, I think you pointed at earlier for me. Get targeted. Big breath. Bigger every breath. Okay, tighten the elbows back towards one another. We're gonna go hands out to the side, keep the elbows down below the shoulders, little circles. Tighten the shoulder blades to one another. Tuck the chin, butt back, rib cage forward. Big breath. Big breath, eyes up. Chin tucked, eyes up. Good. Feel that last piece behind for you in that base of that neck. Hands behind the ears. Elbow packs, open and close. Open and close. 2-second hold now when you open. All the way back, as far back, 2-second back there, and then come forward. 2-second hold in the front. Pay attention to your elbows. You'll notice if one's down below the other. Try to keep them centered. Try to keep them in rhythm. Forward and back. Great for your upper back. Good for you. You're in your second set. Feeling this is a strength workout, yes? You'll be sore tomorrow. Relax. Boom. Okay, so 3 exercises we just integrated. Underhand gyros, elbow packs, and the reaches. Did we do the reaches?
We did not, just barely.
Okay, that's the third one. Thumbs in the armpits. Okay, elbow down. Turn the chest and tilt it, but keep the eyes level. And then reach up. Look up at the top hand. And then alternate. When you get the top hand up there after a couple times, notice if you've got a finger that doesn't want to fully extend or has a little crookedness in it. And work it. Open. Wrist gyroscopes, just like we did with the foot earlier. Pull back and down. Pull back and down. Reach up, grab a handful, pull it up, don't let it get taken away. Reach up, grab a handful, pull it down, don't let it get taken away. Pull 2 handfuls. Boom. Curls out to the side. So when you actively tighten here and you keep that pressure and pull away, bicep eccentric, forearm eccentric, everything y'all are doing with a lot of grasp, you're trying to actively lengthen that. And then when you're done, same thing. Whether it's to recruit blood flow or just to relax. How your wrists feel? How's your thumb?
Thumb feels great. Like it feels better than it has all day. It's still a little achy, but it's
sure.
So much better.
So little daily doses of this, small daily doses. When you work the wrist, when you work the ankle, you have to have the hip or the shoulder locked in. If I'm doing wrist exercises sitting in a chair at the therapy office, it's going to take 8 to 12 weeks. That's why it's, because you're just, well, no, it'll work, right? Like those protocols work, yeah. But like you can speed that process up by going, okay, how can I globally engage more muscle, more tissue? In your traditional therapy environment, they're not going to teach it that way because this is way too big of a note.
Yeah.
I got to write, we recruited all this. I just say this is a global postural pattern, and I'm going to do hand and wrist range of motion. I don't even give them any details anymore because it's like, what's the point? It's just an insurance guy reading it.
Sure.
But for y'all, I want you to understand like conditioning. Pay attention to your hands. Here's a good one. I can do my exercises. I can do my exercises. Or so keep that pinky down and then do the ring finger. Then exercises. I can't do my exercises. Sure? Yeah, no, that's what you want. And then you're anchored in. It's funny, I shot this video in my car yesterday, driving, and I did it this way, and YouTube like immediately nerfed it, and it's because I'm doing this to the camera.
Oh my God.
I'm sure, right? Like, I bet. Think about it. Like, they probably have a filter for that. I'm like, whatever. Maybe this video isn't made for kids. Fingers, hook fist, flat fist, like a rooftop, flat fist, full fist, hook fist, tall, spread them, close them, spread them, close them, spread them, close them. So a little short rest breaks. You can work hand and wrist, range of motion.
I feel every muscle in my hand right now because they are so sore from this week.
Yep.
And it is like, if I didn't ever put them into this position, I never would have known.
Not in our modern, no longer in our modern environment.
No more.
There was a time we carried our water, carried our kids,
like tying a knot.
dug, tie, all those little dexterous tasks. Now we're what?
This is like, I want to like.
This mode right here with the phone, put your hand, look at that position. So what am I going to do? I'm going to undo it.
Yeah. This feels
and then work the elbow. Little hook fist. Ooh,
so good.
Cool. Hook fist rockers. Hook fist rockers. See, this is where it's freestyle. Like it's. I really want you to understand you can make things up. That does feel good. Hand and wrist rockers. You make it rhythmic, you make it playful, it downloads the habit sooner. The brain develops through play and heavy work. So if I'm over there with crooked feet, pulling weight from the ground, when I walk away from that, I'm going to be tired with crooked feet walking on the ground because I just downloaded that information as proper. So you straighten your feet, keep things in this position, and there's a lot of freedom of what you can do up here. We talked about like using a dumbbell, pressing it forward and back, resistance band work, always in this good base. Ball, the rollouts. I'll do rollouts with y'all before I'm done as like a finishing recovery. Next one, tuck the toes. Well, actually, sorry. Knees up, knees down. Knees up, knees down. Yes, slow way down. That's one that you really need. Look at her right foot.
Oh, that's fun. Shaky, shaky.
Slow way down.
The down is bad.
The down is what you need to focus on. The eccentric control, right? The landing phase. You're actively opening up that shin box. You got shin splints? Ever had them? This is one of my go-tos.
From like here to here, my ankles have been bad my entire
There you go. Now you know what you can. If you had to pick 3 exercises, that needs to be one of them.
No, shaky too.
Good work.
But I think I'm just tired. So
She nearly got to skip this one. I nearly skipped it because I was like, oh, we've already done this.
it's a good one.
That's one of your best ones. And you're going to feel probably more comfortable in that position after you're done with that.
It's like
I don't know that. I don't know if you were just uncomfortable. This, sitting, resting. It's easier on the feet. You'll be able to rock side to side now because that ankle's opened up a little bit.
little muscles in your ankles, I feel it all along. Yeah.
So there's long bones and short bones. That's the easiest way to the tarsal bones, the talus. The talus is the big one. And then you've got malleolus, little bony prominence. That ankle, so we're going to get to that. Tuck the toes. Rockers back into the toes. Try to get the middle toe to the ring toe, primarily doing a lot of the work. And then from there, anchor those hands in. Okay, for the first times, our knees are going to open outside of our elbows. And then come back down. You can. I'm going to keep you open for here because we're getting ready for this to this, and you will close at the top. So squat. So this warms up the foot, right? We're rocking into the feet, toes curled. This loads the foot. There's a crease from the second toe to the pinky toe. If you look down there, you're going to see like a little crease, a little line. Loading that. Okay. Elbows, push them into the inside of the knees. Knees push into the elbows. Isometric, another good hold. Hold that. Now take your butt up and back. And close the hips. Good. And then come back to the squat. Knees, thighs, shins point away. Knees, thighs, shins point in. Left, right with the pelvis. A little wiggle at the top. Boom. Down. Up. Down. Up. Down. Up. Down. Up. Okay. Bring the hands to the tops of the feet. Trace them up the shins. Thumbs at the base of the rib cage. Pinky top of the hip bone. Deep breath. Open the shoulders. Close the hips. Butt back, rib cage forward. Drive the hands forward. Thumbs out, palms up. All the way up. Hands together. Back down. Breath in. Pause when you exhale. Breath in. Tighten the fingertips. Tighten the elbows together. Tighten the hips. Reach. Can you get that global elastic pattern? Good. Heels up. Step forward. Good. Turn towards whatever foot is forward. Take that same hip back. Reach up. Pack that elbow. Don't let somebody take your Jolly Rancher. Good. Alternate as you step. Boom. Hand reaches. Extend all this. Wrist work, hand work up there. Elbow downside. I'm going to steal your Jolly Rancher. Good. Right there. Right there. Boom. And then show me your palm. Good. Okay. Short walk. Does that easier make more sense when it comes to like what you should be feeling than?
Yes.
Because you woke it all up.
I feel like I'm moving my spine the right way. Now it doesn't feel weird to turn.
Yes.
Although I still probably look weird.
You don't. You look great. You really do. You're flexible in a way that I can't tell if you're actively engaging the tissues versus Professor Julio. I can tell, right? He's tight. There's a lot of tightness. There's a lot of defensive patterns that are deep in that skeletal system that are there for stability from little injuries over years. So when you are starting at your age, you're keeping those defensive patterns from forming because you've got the flexibility, which is good.
He is flexible as Ian. I have his in the marathon and all the way out his rib, and I'm like this. And I want to see freaking Ian do good. He moves in the funkiest way. His body can just like
contort. So like people that can contort, you're flexible. You keep tying this in because your awareness and ability to control is way more important than the person that's like, I can't even squat. I'm like, great. Well, you're not going to get to a range that you're going to create problems because you could move too fast in your squat to hinge flow and not really get the benefit and actually start to bang that disc. Not get the eccentric, the control, the long. You're actively tightening and retraining the brain to control in these big open positions and targeting the spine so it can turn and open.
I have a question. When I step, when we start here and we go long, am I loading? All my weight is on my front right there.
I want you to put more weight then in your hip, in the same side, to protect the knee. So if I put all my pressure in the foot, the knee may cave into the inside. I want you to take that knee up and back, but keep that same elastic response.
Up and back, but where do I put the weight?
You're going to turn your pelvis and the head and the chest, squeeze your ass. Tighten your butt cheek, like tighten that glute. Your hip socket.
You'll feel it in your hamstring so much more than you ever thought you would. It's like you don't ever think about squeezing your butt when you're walking because you're not under that much tension. But if you're thinking about it while you're doing in control, then it makes more sense when you're actually walking, and then you change the way that your gait carries you, which has changed the way I carry weight.
Because Weight carrying is the walk with the rib cage in front of the hips. So you're like, boom, locking in.
That's it.
You ever seen Bigfoot? I have. Talk all the shit you want. It's real. He's gender neutral. He prefers the term swamp ape. Yeah, so feet, ankles, hips, shoulders, 2 columns. Throw in medicine balls. Yeah. Ankle, ankle, hip, hip, shoulder, shoulder. That's your frame. Things will land into 1 column at a time and leave 1 column at a time. You'll never see, even in a jump, like if I try to jump here, yeah, I'm using 2 legs, but there's 1 probably leaving a little bit earlier. Science, prove me wrong. Probably will, and then I'll still teach that.
I'm like, all the muscles in my legs are like, this isn't how we normally walk.
You are going to recruit new tissues, new muscles, new fatigues. Cramps in the feet, cramps in the calves. I'm about it. I love to hear that, right? But know that you're untying knots. You're getting connective tissue and muscle tissues and pulleys and tendons that have been possibly retired. Because if you're a toe out, collapsed ankle, like your dad said you were.
Oh, actually, I was toe in.
Toe in, ankle. So your shift, then come here. Yep. That's the change.
But then I tried to walk like this for years on the side, but my toes always kind of
overcorrected.
And then I thought that was bad because ballet. I was like, you're supposed to go here.
Okay.
It's supposed to be.
Ballet is dance. It's art. It's both directions. Walk, boom. It's very deliberate. So it's going to show up in your walk. You will naturally overthink it.
But I want to tighten my hips, is what you're saying.
I want your hip, 1 hip and 1 ankle and chest to synchronize. My shin bone, my thigh bone, and my chest bone are going to move in unison. And the back one's going to point the same direction the front one is, which is whatever direction your chest is going, wherever your head is going. So think with your head to G-Love.
Think with your head, rather than your feet.
Head control, foot control. Head control, foot control. And then make it.
So you look cool, dude.
Yeah. See what you got. It's a dance off. It's a great way to train this too. Dance, art, sport.
Just start walking different too. It's not like
That looks great.
It looks so good.
But know that is an exercise that you are conditioning the spine. And then when it gets busy and you're not thinking about it, you're going to have that swag back.
You said like Conor McGregor.
Conor McGregor's got the young Conor had the swag. You look at Conor now, you know what he's picked up is that gait pattern that he was doing for show, and you watch him walk, and he's kind of a toe out guy, but he's got a yacht, so he's allowed to do that in my book.
Yeah.
He can be all right. Y'all are in a sport that you know is full of injuries. It's combat related. It's contact. It is not a stroll in the grocery store. It will give you skills in life that you will not get in any other area but in here. But you're also going to be constantly battling. So that decompression work we started with is what I want you to make the bread and butter of your day.
The heel along.
The supine, the prone, the rockers. Yep. Yes. Now, make sure that hip's locked in. Get that foot a little taller. That is the last piece. Feel that hamstring start to pull? You don't have that. Yep. And then switch to the other side. Bonus point if you know the name of this song.
Jack Johnson.
It's actually G-Love with Jack Johnson. And it's Rodeo Clowns.
Yeah.
Clowns. It's rodeo clowns. Boom. So that same exercise can do on the wall.
Oh my gosh, it's funny. It doesn't remind me of that.
It is the same thing. "35 minutes. That's where we're at. And now we're in the standing work. So I want you to keep the butt further back and the chest a little taller. Don't move. Pause. Feel that? The difference? I just opened the hip. You had it closed. Okay, now do it.
I keep this. Oh, sheesh.
Feel the difference? That's what's going to protect your knee, Achilles, heel, calf, and back. Feel that wobble?
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy. Okay, now give that side a rest. Other side. So straight second toe, right to that point. Good. Ankle, this bone. Get it way up off the ground. Good. And then trace this up and down. Yes. Don't lock the knee out. Some people will lock the knee out. Some people will take that knee too far forward. Keep this hip back. Good. Now trace up, up, back, straight back. Better. Oh, yeah. You'll be sore.
Yes. I know I'm really sore.
Okay. Now switch. Butt on the wall. Right. Straight feet. Look down. Find good symmetry. Heels, second toe. Nice straight line. Ankle bones high. Knees and thighs out. Sit into it. And then close it and take the hips up. Sit into it and then close it and takes the hips up. Working that ankle primarily at first. Think with your shin bones. Watch your shin bones. They're going to point in when the hip goes up. They're going to point out. And the knee will follow that shin bone. Do you see that? Good. There is such thing as an overbow. Overbow is when things go way, way out. That can torque the knee on the outside, just like the collapse can torque the knee on the inside. Just keep it under control. Don't try to use excessive ranges for more power. Just perfect the little bitty motion, and it'll open up that bigger range. If you want to make it harder, doing what she's doing, thumbs in the armpits, lock in the shoulders, reach, shoulder work, elbow packs. All that work can be integrated in the wall. Actively try to push that butt through the wall. Okay, so stack into the corners, into the hips, close the hips, close the hips, close the hips, close the hips, and then do shoulder work there. Rather than doing both. Try to push your butt through and up the wall. So you're actively lengthening the hamstrings, and then take the rib cage, lean far forward as far as you comfortably can. I shouldn't say comfortably. Yes. And you're gonna feel you're doing awesome. You're over 60 minutes of this, which is a performance routine. I guess 2 hours. Yep. Okay. Let me see your hands. Right here. Drive them towards me. Okay. See this space right here? I want you to lock that space where that wood between the gray and the metal safety bar. Now drive your hands as close to it. Just reach towards it. Keep going. Lean to. Good. Now push your butt in the wall.
I can't.
Yeah, you can. Close the hips. Close the hips. Close the hips. Good. Then you are, right? Tighten the butt cheeks. Squeeze them.
I feel like I have no pressure pushing back into the wall, and I'm trying so hard.
Where do you feel this the most?
Probably
Inner thighs? In the knees? I want you to push that pressure up into the hips. Better?
Yeah, but the more I go forward, the less
pressure in that?
Yeah.
So find a spot that you can control it and work that range in a smaller range. Or hold that thought. Oh, this is cruel, but I know you can do it. Hold this. I will get a smaller one if you want it. It's a lot of weight. It's going to be a counterbalance. It's going to force you to recruit the upper body. Now, all I want you to do is hinge back and forth. You're gonna light that lower back up, yeah?
Yep, my butt's touching the back now.
Because if that thing goes forward, you have to push back.
And my body's like, oh my gosh.
So for you, you needed an object. Kettlebell, 25, 45-pound plate. I gave you the biggest one because it's the one I grabbed, and I thought, you can do this. You're in the sport. You're going to have that control. I wouldn't give it to somebody of your same build without this kind of training. You'd start them with a smaller weight.
Is it because I go into my side control all the time?
You would just create this for a lot of people. Side control, whatever y'all call it. You guys are in heavy work. You're pulling and controlling and way more than 45 pounds. You have a wiggling human.
Because you're going in side control, you're controlling
Here. Everything you do is grab, right? It's all grasping, grappling, pulling, versus a lot of this work is decompression, open.
I need to open up my spine a little bit here, and that's how my butt goes.
But you wouldn't want to do this in your sport. That puts you in a very vulnerable position. But you do it in a preventative side because you know you're going to put it in a contorted position. Yes. Inputs, right? If I'm a computer feeding it good information, somebody put some bad information in there, I got to give it more good information now. I can't go in and delete it. You're not going to be able to delete bad inputs from your training because you're going to put in position and like, oh shoot, I shouldn't be here. And that's what this seems like. The more I watch it, the more I understand the challenge. And you're challenging someone else and they're challenging you and you get put in an uncomfortable position and you get to learn how to get out of it. And the day you do, you're like, yeah, I can defend myself. It's great. My best defense is going to be my mouth and my feet. I'm not going to get anywhere near somebody that has a cauliflower ear. Friend or not friend. It's like I gotta, yep. They're great people. I'm not going to be able to defend myself. So my defense is stay away. The sport scares me. Rightfully so, right? Like, your dad is beat up from being in here.
I would say stupidity. Why can't your dad brought up? How many brothers? 5. I have 5 brothers and 4 sisters. So, and then there's 5 brothers.
Does everybody train?
No, but my 3 sisters wrestle.
Okay.
2 of them are 2-time state champions, and then the other one took 3rd this year as well. They're both 2-time state champions.
High school?
Junior year, and then
cool.
Freshman, sophomore year, and then this freshman this year that just came in, she took 3rd, but she's like 10 pounds underweight trying to bulk.
Okay.
So she can't cut anything. So we're like, hey,
eat.
You threw around girls that are like 10 pounds heavier than you, like that's crazy.
That's what was cool. I watched some today while I was cutting film, seeing, I'm like, dude, that kid doesn't have a chance. And then I don't know if that was like, he wound up staying and the other guy left, and I was like, I don't know if that was. There were a couple kids my size, and they'd get teamed up with the burly guy. And one time, I'm sure, right, you know that this isn't a competition in that phase, like you're training in, but. And that's good to know.
That's where I learned the most too, because none of these dudes are trying to fight me.
No.
You know, in no world.
Listening to Brad explain things to people with them while he's it's team.
Because they're also not giving it to me. They're gonna be like, you have to work for this. I'm not bitch, but go ahead and work. But that's how I learn, and it's probably way more fun to watch.
It's neat. It's fun. You can tell. You'll have a huge group, and that's what I want. That's what I want to give back to this, because I see the empowerment of it. It's been a big help to those 2 kids at home, and it's also been.
Well, now I know my leg.
They have to go. They're not allowed to do it inside. Trampoline.
Yeah.
And I just crack the window where I can hear into the backyard, and I wait for tears.
Yeah.
And I go, okay, what happened? I got kicked in the head. I'm like, it's part of it, guys. Like, did he say sorry? Yeah. So you can hear Link like, Theo, whoa, it's okay. It's okay. And I'm like, I remember that. I was the older brother. Yeah. Crack my younger brother. It's all fine. It's fine. Oh, yeah, sweating bullets over here. Mom and Dad's going to come out here. Whoop me. Questions?
How can we go back and watch this?
Boom. So I will upload it. So I take both these camera angles, I sync up the audio, I upload it to YouTube in a private playlist, I share that with you. And then you'll also have